Tom Holland's Spider-Man, arguably the best Spider-Man to date, has been getting an overwhelming response by fans. Not to mention his two movies, with Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, as well as his appearances in the latest two Avengers movies and in Captain America Civil War, have all gone really well. However, as you may have known, there's been a bit of a deal break between Sony and Disney, not having Spider-Man in the MCU anymore. So, why is that? Why is this happening? What led to this? Why is it a big deal? Well, that's what we're going to figure out today. Hi guys, I'm DPX. Welcome to the In-Depth Detective, the show where we figure out mysteries and stuff like this. This time, I'm doing it with a partner.
What's up, guys? I'm Ramkit, and we're here to talk about Spider-Man.
Yeah. So, that's that. Let's jump in. But before we do so, you know what to do. Be sure to like this video, subscribe if you're new, turn on the notifications, and leave a comment, and you'll be a loyal subscriber. Before we talk about the deal break itself, I think we need to talk about the deal being made.
Before Spider-Man joined the MCU, he was a part of Sony. During this period, the famous Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield movies were released.
However, Sam Raimi, the director of the original Spider-Man trilogy, wasn't quite satisfied with Spider-Man 3 and wanted to make Spider-Man 4. However, Sony decided to reboot the franchise.
As mentioned before, these new films were directed by Mark Webb and starred Andrew Garfield. However, they were not as well received as the previous trilogy.
Thus, Sony and Disney finally made a deal together to include Spider-Man in the MCU.
The first MCU movie Spider-Man appeared in, Captain America Civil War, was well received. Additionally, Spider-Man's first standalone movie, Spider-Man Homecoming, was a success both financially and critically.
Soon after, Spider-Man appeared in Avengers Infinity War, where he wasn't really feeling too good. But the movie became the fourth highest grossing movie of all time, so that's gotta feel good. Then came Avengers Endgame, which, Then the second standalone MCU Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Far From Home, came out and became Sony's highest grossing movie of all time, even beating out Skyfall, which previously held that title.
However, this was where things took a turn for the worse.
Part of the deal was that Sony gets all the money from the standalone Spider-Man movies, and Disney gets all the money from the team-ups and the merchandise.
However, following Far From Home, Disney, who was originally receiving 5% of the standalone films, wanted to receive 50% of the movie profits. Sony disagreed and ended the deal entirely.
Tom Holland is still set to return as everyone's favorite friendly neighborhood hero, but it won't take place in the MCU.
It's sad to see that the one person who really didn't want to go Mr. Stark went twice. Following the original deal, Sony released two Spider-Man-related movies, Into the Spider-Verse, an animated film loved by critics and fans alike, and Venom, a movie with mixed reviews but a ton of cash.
Perhaps this is what I think their approach is. Sony thinks they don't need Disney anymore to make Spider-Man. Into the Spider-Verse and Venom, if they proved anything, Sony can make blockbuster movies on their own.
Since Sony no longer believed they needed Disney to make money, they felt confident in completely ending their deal and Spidey's involvement in the MCU.
It is totally unfortunate on a consumer perspective. but it makes a lot of sense probably on a business perspective. Sure, Sony butchered Spider-Man twice already, and a third Spider-Man reboot by Sony, it would feel a little bit much, but it's their character in the end.
However, now time will tell whether or not Sony can make actual good Spider-Man movies. Venom was the mixed reception, and the most recent live-action Spider-Man movie, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, well,
Not good.
is The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
So I'm gonna pose the question of this episode. Do you think a Sony-led Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland will be good? Or do you think it'll be bad and end up like another Amazing Spider-Man? Let me know in the comments below.
Also, let us know what you think this means for the future MCU, since Tom Holland will no longer be a part of it.
Yeah, and considering that he seemed to be pretty important in the MCU, it's unfortunate, but we are getting Fox characters, so that's cool. And Disney's straight up buying Fox, so it's not like they're gonna come in and come out. Anyways, that was this episode of The In-Depth Detective. Thanks, Ramkit, for joining me in this episode.
No problem.
And if you sure like this video, come subscribe. And we got more episodes coming very soon. Goodbye.